Hello everybody and welcome back. 3 years of Dice Hammer. Man, it's been a long time.
Indeed.
And we'd like to say thank you for more than 670 or more than 666 subscribers. Thank you very much. And this leads us to all the people we met on our way, people who really inspired us. This was one of the highlights of the second year of Dice Hammer, was Josh from Crown of Command from Avilade. Thanks Josh for all your support. And we'd also like to thank Jason and Richard from Bring It Battle Wargaming. And I don't want to forget others. There's, for instance, our more than 1,000 subscribers strong channel doing the cult and the Inquisitor stuff and
Second edition Wargaming.
yeah, second edition Wargaming. Yeah, you're right. And of course our new friends from the Battlefleet Gothic universe, Torpedius. And we'd also like to thank all of our Facebook groups where we're connected with others. And there are 2 or 3 channels we discovered lately. I think one of them was Trolls in the Backroom Gaming, another one was Splitfire, and there was a pretty cool one doing rather narrative stuff. It's a Punchwood Mountains with...
I think the trench crusade-like terrain,
Yeah.
but playing, I think, a huge invasion of, I think it were Death Guards, and accompanied by traitor guardsmen who fought for an imperial world. It was some kind of, how do you call it, a stop-in-motion videos, but
and
quite interesting.
And they
A lot of slaughter.
And they also did something on vampires fighting against halflings. They had a fantasy battle report too.
A brilliant battle report here as well. Yeah.
So thumbs up for all your content, and maybe we'll hear or we might be able to watch some more content of the others, which have stopped. Some of them stopped around the time when the Old World came out, because we've been enjoying many videos from other Warhammer Fantasy channels, but suddenly when the Old World appeared, some of them stopped.
Or switch to the Old World.
Yeah. And as you might have noticed, now there are 3 of us, so welcome Chris.
Yeah, thanks for having me aboard. You guys probably have witnessed my voice in some of the videos, mostly Battlefleet Gothic so far, but there is more in the pipe with other second edition inspired themes that I'm currently working on and that you're soon going to be shown. The entire connection and how we met is kind of a funny story. I've been a follower of everything Oldhammer for many years. I have an active group of people that I play with, a lot of different games, not only GW or Warhammer style games, also board games and other things, but they are more or less all interested in the current and up-to-date editions of these games. And I am like the only guy in the entire group that is having a strong hand for everything nostalgia, which for me is the early 90s and the early 2000 years of GW releases. So naturally, I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels that had content about these topics, like Crown of Command with Josh from Australia, who's now living in Japan with his wife, and also other inspiring people like Danny Ackles from the Cauldron of Paint, who is also, funnily enough, a friend of Rich and it's Jason. Yeah. So as you can see, it's a very closely knit community, even though we are all spread among the different continents on this planet. And it was one of the interviews that Josh did that I heard, I think was Marcus speaking to him in an interview that they did on some Saturday or Sunday. And I was watching along the video, and I thought to myself, even though everybody was speaking in English, this sounds like it's a German accent. And it was the mentioning of the Dice Hammer channel that brought me on YouTube to watch the videos from Marcus and Alex. And I was thinking to myself, man, they sound like they could be from somewhere around where I live. But I had no idea how to find them online or how to connect to them. I mean, I could have commented on the YouTube videos, but private information like addresses and stuff you normally don't want to share in public. So it was in another live stream that Josh did that I decided to write to Josh over in Japan if he would know the Dice Hammer guys a little more closely, and if there was a way that he could link up to them so I can get in contact with them. And it was the same weekend that I decided that I wanted to write Josh an email when somebody in the second edition Facebook group opened up a new topic in which they were talking about having a second edition wargaming group on Facebook that is for the German participants. So naturally I was signing up for that group. I was one of the first ones to be member of. And in there I was able to finally link up with Marcus. And when I wrote him a message where I was looking for players in the vicinity of where I live, we found out we were not even 10 kilometers apart. So just within a few days after we met on Facebook, we were meeting in person for the very first time. And I think we get along very good, and it was an instant connection. But that is something that and I think a lot of you people out there can connect to that point. Naturally, if you have something in common, people just have a really easy way of getting friendships and just gaining people for gatherings and to just play with each other and enjoy the entire gaming and painting and everything that is hobby related, just talking about it. So that's how we met a couple of months ago, and yeah, it's a work in progress with more stuff to be coming in the future, and I'm really happy to be aboard. So thank you, both of you, Marcus and Alex, for having me here on board on this very interesting journey so far.
You're welcome. And now finally I can murder Alex if we don't agree on rules, because then there will be somebody left I can play against. And our projects of the past. I hope some of you or many of you have enjoyed our three larger kinds of campaigns. Storm of Vengeance.
Yeah, which we concluded a couple of days ago when we record this video now. And
we were torn between waiting until we have more miniatures painted, but to be honest, we could have
Marcus
waited
was
for
too
another
lazy,
5 years.
so we decided to play it immediately. And then I think the second larger campaign was from Warhammer Fantasy, the escalation campaign between my new army, the Lizardmen, which I painted from scratch on. And I think it was finished a couple of weeks ago against the Vampire Counts.
I really enjoyed this because you had a lot of time to think about your next army. And our last one, it was on...
Yeah, I think it was in the beginning we never thought that it was would escalate that much because we just, I think the first game was a 400 point game of...
Just did some Chaos Cult versus...
some, I don't know, maybe Eldar or the Imperial Guard or Inquisition
I
Force.
think the first 1000 point was against the Sisters of Battle.
Sisters of Battle, exactly.
And then things began to escalate. Imperial Guard.
And then the Chaos Sorcerer always evaded capture or annihilation. So I think the last battle, I think the Sorcerer displaced in the last turn of the battlefield. So it was not killed officially, but rule-wise it took no longer part in the game, but maybe Darion the Deceiver will appear in a future battle once more.
We could, I think we could do some more videos in our Assassins playlist. Maybe this time hunting Darian the Deceiver.
Okay.
And there are, of course, many more games still to come, not just our favorites, the Warhammer 40k 2nd edition games and the Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition games, or our really cool new Battlefleet Gothic games, which I enjoy very much. Thanks to Chris once more, because I think I would never have been able to play Battlefleet Gothic. And now we've got 2 new playlists.
And yeah, in the future we want maybe to dive into some smaller systems of GW or even other companies. So for example, I think Chris told us just that he has complete editions of Space Hulk almost ready to play, so maybe that's some kind of stuff which you can expect in the foreseeable future at last.
Yeah. It's about 80% done, so there's a few more figures I need to paint, but yeah, for the most part it's done, so it's something that is in a not too far future. So it's a possibility, yeah.
Yeah, maybe as you will see in a couple of minutes, I finished painting a Blitzbowl team for the Orcs. So maybe you know Blitzbowl is a smaller version of Blood Bowl. You played instead of 12 team members, you only have 6 of them, and it's a rather quick but really fun game. And there are lots of different teams you can play, and a few of them I have still painted or bought painted, and I think you can expect some games of Blood Bowl / Blitzbowl in the near future as well.
And you've already played it, I think, against Fabian during the last convention.
Our last convention in
Yeah.
Franconia. A couple of games, and it's really fun because it's really quick. You don't have to play a couple of hours for one game, and I think it's as far as I can remember a really good balance between the teams. So it's a quite cool game from GW, and maybe I don't think that they published it in the UK, or I think it's a really strange distribution way because you can Blitzbowl, I think even in Germany you can only buy it at some kind of libraries and bookstores and not in the official Games Workshop stores. So it's maybe they want to acquire new customers if they put it in the shelves in some kind of normal supermarkets or bookstores. Yeah.
But as you've mentioned, the convention in Franconia, if you go there again, if there's another one, I think we might give the old world a try.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's another new game, Inbound, the Trench Crusade. I think it's really popular. We've ordered some minis just to be sure.
Prepared to be repaired.
Prepared with 5 or 10 armies or smaller warbanks. And maybe another thing we might like to try is to do some Warhammer 40k 2nd edition Battlefleet Gothic themed new missions, maybe like kill the defense lasers or destroy maybe the star port, or maybe capture the enemy's navigator or stuff like that.
It could be some scenario-driven campaigns where the result of the one game system that you just played a battle with have a direct influence on what is being played in the next skirmish mission for, say, 2nd edition 40k. There could even be a part where a planetary assault and the like the drop site where the troops are coming in from space could be displayed in a epic 40,000 game. I do have the miniatures, and maybe within like the next 100 years I can finally around painting all of them. But yeah, the ideas are there. Most of the parts to have playable armies are there. the question is, will all three of us have the time to get all of this painted to make it more appealing to the eye when we show it to you? Playing it is not the problem, but I don't want to push around grey plastic, you know, certain standards and stuff like that.
I think that's a historic
It's an honorable
by
approach.
the Redeemer. Standards have to be maintained.
What was it, the 3-paint approach? It needs to be the primer plus at least 2 different colors and then it counts as painted?
Shiny ones.
Okay, I think now we show you a few pictures of our painting
Okay.
progress in the year 2025.
You might have, those of you who have already sent a friend's request to our Dice Hammer Facebook profile have seen my kind of painting order, because I did only around 20 to 30 minis last year and I was disappointed afterwards. And so for this year I chose another approach, which is quite strict. I've got certain minis which are to be painted every month, but there are some gap months, and I'm lucky, I'm happy, I'm good at them, and I'm lucky I did well so far, because I think I might not get all of it done, but at least 80%, and this will be a lot more than last year. So this time these are probably, let's say, 80 or 90 minis, or even some larger one instead of the 20 ones last year. But you haven't heard about the painting progress of Chris and Alex, who have really, I think, accomplished a lot of stuff.
It depends. But I'll show you some pictures. I just described the models which I painted, starting with the Elder Distortion Can. I already have, I think, a Lescan on an anti-craft platform and a scatter laser, and for one of the last battles we fought, I think of the Darian the Deceiver campaign, I'd like to include a distortion cannon. So I have to paint it, of course, and it was really, if you have watched the battle report, a really great weapon against the Chaos Army. Secondly, for the Sisters of Battle, they can include a large number of Frateris militia in their army, and I painted a few old Necromunda heavy stubber from the Escher, the Orlok and the Goliath in order to use them as Frateris militia heavies, because it's really cheap, I think on a couple of points, to include those really potent heavy weapons in your Sisters of Battle army. Speaking of Necromunda, I think back in 2016 or 17 I bought the newer edition of Necromunda, the basic box. Never, to be honest, started to assemble or paint the models inside, but the last couple of weeks I completely painted the scenery and terrain of the box. So there are a lot of doors and shots and tentacles and so on. And that's
Tentacles?
at least one tentacle. And you see it in a couple of seconds on screen, the terrain of the Necromunda box. Then a model which almost broke me, the Stegadon of the Lizardman. It was such a pain. Complete metal, it weighs, I think, more than double a Carnifex. So many sub-assemblings and pinnings, and I don't know, it was really a pain to paint this huge model, but I really think it was really excited when it was finished.
It's a great addition to your army.
And it's a really great addition to the Lizardman's forces. Then the Corsairs of the Dark Elves. I bought the regiment, let's say, partly painted or not painted or just primed, and I took my heart and put the 3 members of the command unit into acetone. to strip the paint and repaint those 3 guys. Now only 17 of the normal Corsairs left to paint in the future. And last but not least, as I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, I painted a team of 6 old Blood Bowl orcs. I think they were from the 3rd edition of Blood Bowl, which was released, I think, in the 90s when the 2nd edition 40k was released at the same time. And I painted 6 of them, so 3 normal team members, thrower, a black orc, and of course a, how do you call it? Those who punch the others in the face.
Blitzer?
A blitzer, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks Chris, a blitzer and a blitzer. So now I'm officially allowed to play with them Blitz Bowl, so maybe you see the orcs in action soon. Okay, these are my painting projects I've done so far in this year.
Painting progress is a little bit different, because for the first time in, I think, at least 15 or maybe even 16 years of my hobby career, I have painted terrain. And I did not only paint like 1 piece or 2 pieces or a couple of minor pieces. No, I've literally painted as much terrain since January like I've never did before. I've completed so much of it that it's actually a completely playable gaming surface. I'm speaking about the amount that will fill a 6x4 foot table. And you will not see pictures of all of that terrain today, because this is actually a surprise to both Marcus and Alex, which I'm going to invite to play a game of Warhammer 40k on a completely set up table with pure nostalgia overflowing terrain from, I would say, looking like straight out of a 1995 White Dwarf magazine.
I'm really
So
looking
a lot
forward
of-
to it.
A lot of cacti.
Not necessarily, there were other reports that did not necessarily include any cacti, but something similar.
Okay, no, really.
So yeah, you guys can look forward to that. It's going to be one of the celebrations for the birthday of our YouTube channel, that we are going to honor that birthday by playing a nice game of Warhammer 40k on a completely new table setup that you have not seen before if you're a member of the channel. And also Marcus and Alex have not seen before. So this is going to be my birthday present to you guys.
I was asking for hints if it were minis or rather Terra, rather fantasy or 40k, but all we found out is that it's Warhammer 40k, traditional Warhammer 40k 2nd edition Terra, and we're really looking forward to it. There's another thing, I nearly forgot about our painting partners. Thank you very much for all of your great efforts. And even this year I sent a small box to faraway Japan, because Josh did a really great job with my warpad and started doing Bait Moons. Those of you who saw the Dreadnought have to admit that it was really
Absolutely magnificent.
and therefore I thought I'd send some of my remaining, because I gave away lots of orcs, but some of the remaining Bait Moons will be sent to Japan to together probably with the last support weapon and maybe even a character. And later on, if I've got some money left, we'll send a small parcel to Munich, but we let you decide if I either send some Space Wolves, Squads, Imperial Guard Steel Legion, or maybe Elder Guardians or an Elder Force without Aspect Warriors, rather traditional, because I spend a lot of money on arms brews and the old stuff from back then and Metal Guardians. Or maybe I think the last one was another one out of my forces of the Deathwing. Yeah. The Deathwing is a force of 3 squads and 3 characters. I think it would be really interesting to watch them fight the Tyranids and stuff like that. So we let you decide and vote on our YouTube channel which of these armies is sent to Patrick Silver in Munich. I hope it'll be the cheapest one.
And I think you just put in the comments below for the commission paint shop. So what it is was Space Wolves, a small Elder Force, Squads, Deathwing or Steel Legion.
Yeah, maybe we'll show you pictures. These are small forces of around 1,000 or 1,500 points. I think the least models will be included in the Deathwing, whereas the squads will require a lot amount of
pre-assembly
of time, because sometimes you have to discolor metal as well as plastic, or you have to get 3D printed arms. I'm not sure I've got enough arms left for all of my squads. And in case of the Deathwing, which would be a cool army to put into a parcel because all of them are cleaned, trimmed, assembled, I lack the decals. Luckily, Chris knew that there's somebody in Switzerland who could maybe...
There's ways to get custom printed decal sheets with almost any design of the old stuff. So, and it's a reasonable price too. And the guy's on Etsy, so he just sells on mainstream. So shouldn't be that hard to obtain some of the necessary decals.
Elder would be quite easy, many models, but no decals needed, and I think nothing much left to be trimmed or assembled. Steel Legion as well, there's only Steel Legion comes along the platoon with 2 tanks, 2 demolishers and 5 ogrins, so there might be some discarding involved, but let's see.
Okay guys, and now we come to this part of the video
We've been waiting for.
And probably watched the video, the giveaway to our 3-year birthday to you. And we have one really cool and sealed boxes or blisters, one for Warhammer Fantasy and one for Warhammer 40k. So Marcus, man, you could present the Warhammer Fantasy item.
Okay, after we had some bad guys last time, the Nightlings, I think Black Tree minis for the Orcs and Goblins of Warhammer Fantasy. Now we've got some Empire Lunatics.
Oh cool, that's the old...
it's really old because it's the old German
That's
currency. Right. It says DM for Deutsche Mark, so it's quite old.
It feels like it's a different century.
Okay, so one blister of Flatulence for Fantasy, and maybe you are green and mean and would like to have originally sealed Orc Warbike from the 2nd edition back then. So I think there are even the decals included. And the banner pole.
In the beginning there were only the metal Rogue Trader models, and then towards the end of 2nd edition...
it was not the end, it was the middle of...
This is a true release of the 2nd edition Warhammer 40,000 era. And it's still in its original shrink wrap.
So, okay guys, you see our 2 giveaways, and all you have to do to get one of those who can't get both, to be honest, you have to comment below this video and maybe say some kind words to our birthday.
Yeah, wish us a happy birthday.
And
If you don't want to start a grudge,
comment which one of the items you'd like to have. And I think we ship it worldwide, even to Australia.
to our
Maybe-
mate down there, Carnifex, thanks for
Carnifex.
watching.
Thanks for watching, and if you want to have one of these items, feel free to comment below the video. No problems in shipping it to Australia or wherever we are allowed to ship it in the world. Yeah, and one vital information, the deadline for the draw will be the 1st of June 2025. So all applications afterwards are neglected. So you have to comment until June the 1st. So good luck to you all,
And thanks for watching.
and thanks for watching, and stay in contact, stay tuned, there are much more cool stuff to come. Bye.
Bye.